So maybe do you want to tell us about your involvement in that and the more in depth about the programs and what it's trying to achieve?
Yeah. So Satellite, like I said, it's an organisation that's at the moment it's relatively small. It's not as big as something like Beyond Blue, but we try to create really high quality connections with the young people who we meet, which means that Rose Cuff, one of the co-founders, has met some young people when they were like 10 years old and now knows them, and they're sort of in their 20s, late 20s, and one of them's pregnant at the moment with her own child. So really like that long period of time working with someone and getting to know young people who otherwise don't have a lot of positive contact with services. I know I had this conversation a bit with you, and sometimes, and it's definitely what I see in the research that I do and the people that I speak, young people that I speak with, is that a lot of the time the focuses of mental health services are on like crisis, and they're really on your parent. And despite lots of pushes to be much more family focused, generally speaking, they're just looking at the parent as an adult and not looking at their family. So Satellite really offers an opportunity for the children in those situations to get a bit of support, meet other kids who have a similar experience, get involved in things like music. There's a music art and songwriting workshop, there's photography workshops, and we do camps. I've also been really involved in some leadership programs for sort of late adolescents and young adults, just getting them connected, because again, like they mightn't have had those opportunities when they were young. I definitely didn't get access to those sorts of things when I was younger. Something like Satellite didn't exist as far as I knew back then. So yeah, I think it's really important to offer those programs to young adults as well. Yeah, and that's been an amazing thing to be part of. Unfortunately, like a lot of small organisations, we rely on funding, I guess, the generosity of the community, and also various, I guess, funding bodies. We have to pitch for funding against other organisations and try to show our impact. We have to measure that along the way if we can, and we're definitely trying to do that as much as we can. But yeah, one of the opportunities that we had to pitch for funding was a group called the Funding Network. They run, it's like crowdfunding. They get a room full of corporate people who are interested in social justice, and they listen to us speak for, I think it's like 5 minutes total. And part of it is really telling the story of why you do what you do, and giving a clear way that you'll use whatever funds that people generously donate. So yeah, I spoke about my experiences with my dad at the start of that, and what it was like to grow up not having those kind of not having an organisation that offered me connections to other young people who knew what I was going through. So it felt pretty isolating. And there's lots of things that come with mental illness that unfortunately other people, well, maybe fortunately, other people don't necessarily get unless they've been through it. So yeah, just sharing that with people and getting across really what it feels like to be in that experience, feeling isolated, the ups and downs of family life, and sort of the rifts that can form in families because of the consequences of an illness. Yeah, and how they can really change the person that you love deeply, and yeah, it creates a lot of internal conflict, but also conflict in the family. So yeah, that's
That's
what I shared with them. Yeah.